Today, I'm going to be talking about the Pareto Analysis, which is a tool used frequently by industrial engineers and management to narrow down your choices. Basically, a Pareto analysis is used to determine what is important. It helps save you time in the decision-making process. Alright, so what is Pareto exactly? Pareto is a cause-effect principle, first noticed by an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto, which is kind of catchy, so that might help you remember. But it was later put into popular use by a guy named Joseph Juran, who is a management consultant. If you're a big fan of process improvement, he's kind of one of the forefathers in that field. Pretty much the Pareto rule that Vilfredo noticed and Juran later used was 80% of the effects come from 20% of the potential causes. It's also known as the 80-20 rule for the reason listed above. So 80% of your things happening or your problems can be narrowed down to 20% of items or causes for these effects. It's not a hard law, not everything's 80-20, but a lot of things are, or close. Okay, so I made up this example from a hypothetical burger joint. So let's just say we have a restaurant called the Best Burgers in Town, and they're trying to solve the issue of customer complaints. They're trying to reduce them at least, so that they retain their customers. So here are some problems they recorded for the month. The burger was old. The buns were old. It was missing an ingredient. It had an extra ingredient. Or it was just the wrong item altogether. So someone ordered a large cheeseburger and got chicken nuggets. They also have documented how frequently these issues were reported for the month. So number of issues is next to each individual issue. Your first step would be to total all your issues. Total your data. So for that month, the Best Burgers in Town had 30 customer complaints. That was the total number of issues. Then from there, look at the percentage of each issue. So 6 out of 30 is 20%. 3 out of 30 is 10%. So total your issues and then put your individual percentage for each issue. Then we need to sort by the highest occurring issue. So the highest occurring will go at top and the lowest occurring will go at the bottom. So it looks like missing ingredients is the biggest issue they face at the Best Burgers in Town. The wrong item was only reported once, so it is the least significant issue. You'll see too that the percentages will line up as well. Your next step is just to graph it. A simple bar graph will suffice. So you see my graph in the lower right. Your first issue on the left should be the tallest bar, and they should be descending in height. So the next bar to the right should be the second highest, and then your very last bar should be your smallest bar. So that's step one of creating a Pareto graph. Then what we need to do is add in a cumulative percent, and then graph that as a line. So our first issue, missing ingredients, is 60%. Our next issue, the burger being old, is 20%. But at this point, these two issues combined make up 80% of our issues. That's the cumulative percent, the total percent so far, because 60% and 20% is 80%. Then graph the cumulative percent as a line on top of your bar graph. The cumulative percent should only reach 100%. Just logically, you're not going to have 120% of effects. Doesn't make any sense. This visually is now complete. You see the issues as bars and their total percent as the line above them. The slope of this line should be steep because of the Pareto rule. So here's the end result graph in a little bit more detail. You can see all of our issues on the horizontal axis down there at the bottom. On the y-axis on the left side, you see just plain old numbers. So that's the quantity that each issue happened, the number of customers that complained. Then on the right side, you see percentage on the y-axis. This corresponds to the cumulative percent shown as the line. Now looking at this, 20% of your causes is actually just one item, which is only 60% of your issues. So this doesn't even actually follow Pareto's rule completely, although it does show a strong cause. And this is true of the industry. I think because Pareto analysis has been in use for so long, a lot of these initial huge problems have been solved at a lot of companies. Easy issues that cause most of your problems are known as low-hanging fruit because they're easy to see, and a lot of times the approach to them is easy as well. So a lot of times in the professional world, you won't have the 20-80 rule, but this concept will still apply because there'll probably be a few issues that are causing a good chunk of your problems. Maybe it's 20-50 or 20-60. But the point of Pareto is that it helps you visually see what you need to go after for improvement. So Pareto is a simple tool that helps you in your decision-making process. And a Pareto graph is a great presentation tool to show to management. So I hope you use Pareto in your future endeavors. Good luck!